Today's video, I'm going to discuss a brainchild of mine. So I do some cycling, I like to go kayaking and other outdoor activities. And the question is where to put your keys. And I think I've come up with the perfect solution, or almost perfect. I am aware that maybe someone will notice that this is where my key is and try to access it. So all you trolls out there, try to help yourselves. So this is a piece of 2" by 2" square tubing that will fit into my receiver. You'll see that I have drilled holes for the pin that goes through the receiver. And this is a lockbox. Now this particular lockbox has a cover, so it is not readily obvious what it is. It does say master on it, but you have to kind of get up on it and look to see. But perhaps someone will see it just as a cover or as a plug. So that takes out maybe the obvious fact that the keys are in there. You do need a lockbox big enough to fit your keys, especially if you have a fob. There's your combination. And a cover, as I said. So it's just 2 pieces of steel, bolted. The lockbox is bolted from the inside, so you can't take it off with a wrench. Voila. All right, I'll get into it, and if you're interested to see how this is made, I'll show you. I am using some recycled steel, so I'm taking off the old paint here. So I've used a hitch, the piece that goes into the receiver, as a template. This is 1 9/16, this, or excuse me, 2 9/16 in the center of the hole. Already have that set up right here.
Make sure I have it. That's really good.
I was just making sure that was square. See the mark? Go the opposite side, because what I'm going to do, just to make sure that we get everything dead center, is we'll drill from both sides. Put that on the 1" mark. Marking from both sides. We just got to hit the center of the crosshairs there. By marking for both sides, you just make sure you're still hitting center. The hole drilled in this is an 11/16 hole. The pin is 5/8. So I don't know if I have an 11/16 pin. You could go bigger. This isn't a security. I mean, it's a little bit of security, but it doesn't matter if it rattles a touch. So you can either do like a 3/4" hole or a 5/8 hole and just run around the inside with a die grinder. Just going to put a center point mark on this. So I'm going to start with this spring punch. Once we're good and happy with it, I'm going to nail it. Do it again on this side. We're going to drill it from both sides. That way, if the drill press is at all off, it will still give us the center hole. My first go round of drilling the hole for the hitch pin did not go well. There was a lot of vibration as I drilled the hole. After talking to my friend Tom, it's likely from a bent drill bit. I do not have another 11/16 drill bit, so I'm going to go ahead and do it with the step drill bit that you see there. I am first going to start by drilling a pilot hole, and then I'm going to change the bit out to the step drill bit. The step drill bit is really only appropriate for 1/8" wall steel, which is what this is, and you'll just have to drill it from both sides. I did put a mark on the bit, so I colored it with a permanent marker so I knew when to stop, and it gave me a perfect hole. Okay, so this is the lock box I'm using to make this project. It's made by Master Lock. This is a protective cover. You can see the combination, and there's the mounting points. I've already drilled the holes to 1/4 inch because that's the size of the bolts that I'm going to use. This is a security plate, steel security plate that goes on the inside. Also drilled 1/4 inch holes, so I drilled these first, and then I stuck the plate in there. You see, I drilled these first, and then I stuck the plate in the box and drilled through the plate to the box to make sure everything lines up. This is the steel plate I'm going to use. I just cut this to size. You know, it was not exactly a precise size. It was close to what it already was. A piece of scrap I had. It's 4.5 by 2 7/8. It can vary from that slightly. You just need to make sure that these mounting points will be on the plate and have a little meat around them, because I'm going to drill and tap. Alright, so I've taken that interior security plate, just using it as a template. I'm not going to drill through. I'm simply going to mark for the next drill bit, because I'm going to tap for a 1/4 inch bolt. That's a 1/4 inch bit in the drill press. The hole in this is a 1/4 inch, so I just want the 1/4 inch bit to mark center. And I just got a piece of rubber in there so I don't mar up my plate real bad. Not that it matters too much, but yeah, it's nice to have things looking better. Go ahead and drill the appropriate hole for the 1/4 tap.
It's safer to clamp this piece of steel into a vise than to hold it with a pair of vice grips, but sometimes you do what's faster.
3 of the holes, get the other later. So I'm going to go ahead and tap it. I just have a cheap hardware store tap, and I don't even have any tap fluid. One of these days we'll get some tap fluid, just put some oil, better than nothing. So for starters, I'm just going to turn until it starts to get tight. And in one of my previous videos, one of my viewers recommended just 1/4 inch back turn, 2 full turns, 1/4 inch back turn, seems to be working. So hats off to the tip from my viewer.
In the past, I'd always back the tap all the way out when it got tight, rather than just a slight back turn. This would take a lot more time.
I bought this this holder on Amazon. It's advertised as one of those you can stick in a drill press so you get it completely straight up and down, and the thing's bent. I don't know why I didn't return it. I think I had it a long time before I decided to try it out. So you might see that in the video. Now we have to drill the other hole, and this is just to make sure that everything is aligned. Tap in the last hole. So I'm ready to weld this up. What I've done, I just clamped a few pieces of scrap metal underneath the piece that goes into the vehicle receiver, and then held this mounting plate in place with a magnet. I'm going to start off by tacking it, and after I tack it on all four corners, I'll go ahead and weld it. Obviously I want to stay away from those points there where I have the holes. One last thing, I put a couple of 1/4 bolts into this so that I keep the spatter out of the hole. So we are using flux core wire. It's definitely going to smoke more than you know, shielding gas, but it's what I had in the machine because I ran out of wire, or excuse me, gas, and haven't gotten around to changing it. So I don't have a lot of experience with this flux core wire. I was going by the settings that the machine said. Didn't like the first weld, so I just piled a couple more on top of it. I'm not a professional welder. These are not the prettiest welds, but this is going to get the job done. I'm a guy who has ideas, creates my ideas. I don't pretend to be a professional welder, but these will hold. All right, so these are threaded, as you saw. This is ready to be mounted on there. So I'm going to use these are grade 8. Shouldn't need any washers because you have that steel plate in there.
In this case, this is not my final mounting, so you'll want to use Loctite when you stick this in there for the final go.
Never tighten up the first one until the others are started. All right, there you have it. So here we are at my my truck, and here's the lockbox. So that goes into the receiver. You're going to want to use a locking pin, because if that doesn't lock, then the keys aren't really that secure. I wouldn't leave this on there all the time. You're definitely, you know, salt and dirt and water can get into it, and your lockbox won't work as well. I just put it on there when you need it. So there's the lockbox. Here's my my car keys, my truck keys. That will go in there. Obviously, if you're a cyclist and you use a hitch-mounted bike rack, this may not be for you. Although you can get an under-over attachment where you can stick two you know, receiver device or hitches into the receiver. And there's the lockbox. So it's not extremely obvious as to what is in there. And you know, if you're out kayaking, you don't have to worry about dropping your keys in the water. If you're cycling, I've seen bike bags fall off. I've seen bike bags come open. I had a tube repair kit for my bike, and it fell out. So anyhow, you don't have to worry about losing your keys unless someone comes and beats the crap out of this and opens it up, which probably not too likely. So pop it open. There's your keys. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the key storage idea. And if you did, please like and subscribe. I hope to catch you on the next one.